34,311 stars, 4,099 forks, 514 pull requests, and 180 glaring issues. This is the current state of PewDiePie's Odysseus OS, which is his first agentic AI operating system that he built with this nuclear supercomputer. And I have been using it for the past 2 days. And I'm going to give you my opinion on why or why not you should use it, and the good and the bad and the ugly behind it. Let's start now. Let's start with the why. Why would anybody want Odysseus? Well, for starters, let me tell you how it was before Odysseus to have an agentic AI hosted on your device workflow. First, you'd have Olama installed, and then you'd run an Olama pull command to get the model of your choice. And then you'd change some internal settings inside of OpenClaw or OpenCode or whatever other agentic service you're using, and you'll connect the two models. Then once you've connected the two models, and then you'd go about adding the integrations like mail, calendar, and all of these things. But you know what you have to do in PewDiePie's Odysseus? Well, you have to go to this place called a cookbook, and it reads up your device's hardware and it suggests a good model for your device's capability. And once you just install it, it's plug and play. You don't have to go into your terminal and wishy-washy a lot of things. You just have to go into the web UI, look into the cookbook, install what it says, and you will have a smooth experience. So he made self-hosting AI and agentic AI specifically more easier. That's the first reason. And that's the reason why you should use Odysseus. Now, let's get into the good, bad, and the ugly of his method of implementation. The good. For starters, the cookbook. Cookbook basically reads your device and tells you whether it can run it or whether it's bullshit. It gives you a score of good, great, or marginal, or perfect, or just if this idea is stupid. And if you go based off that, it's just plug and play. And I really love that about it because previously, the workflow of installing a model and converting it to agentic use was a little bit of a tough one. But now it's not. And I love that about it. So the next thing is Olama support. I had Olama installed on my device and I had the model Gemma 4 E2B. It worked well. Let's just say I downloaded it on Olama and I didn't even have to go inside it and set it up. It just recognized Olama from the localhost, and that integration works beautifully as well. And then next, the more good things about this is that the basic search and shell access also work pretty well. I tried to make this document from this HTML file. It allowed me to export it as a PDF, and that PDF looked beautiful as well. So it's been using the shell properly. And when it was time to do some basic search, I searched up what is Claude Code, and it found out that Claude Code is, Claude Code, a coding service provided by the Anthropic family from searching the web. And after that, what more? And basic search works well as well. And the way to set up basic search is you go into the settings and click web search, and you click your favorite browser. The Brave Search API works really well, but it's paid. And the other ones have some caveats. I'll come to that in the bad part. But for now, DuckDuckGo and SearXNG are the most free and best usable options. And notes, calendar, and cron jobs. What is a cron job? Well, it's a repeating task you can set for the AI again and again, and you can feed that with skills. If your computer is on throughout the day, you can have it do some stuff like send out emails to so many people at 9 a.m. in the morning, send it at 12 a.m., and all of these things. You can set that up with PewDiePie's service. There's a problem with email verification and addition, but I'll come to that in the bad section again. And notes. I really like this part because you can have a funky little sketch and some notes, and you can have the AI refer the notes. But there's a problem. Some small models cannot access it, but the big models can access it. I don't know how that works, but it works like that somehow. And the next thing is PDF making. That is a really good feature. As I said earlier, I tried to use it to make a HTML file that would become a PDF. And it did that beautifully well. So kudos and hands off to it. Yeah, so basic coding, it should be able to do that. It is able to do that. So kudos to that as well. And this is the good part. Now we're moving into the bad part, where it's serviceably good, but you have to get through a shit ton of stuff before you set it up. And this is where things get more interesting as well. So here's the bad stuff. Okay, after having tested some more suspicions out, I can tell you that the cookbook feature, which is supposed to be this revolutionary way to download your local hosted models, doesn't really work outside of Linux. Because there's this thing called Tmux console, and it doesn't work on Windows. There could be a way to install it, there could be some workaround, but it's not by default that it works. So Cookbook as a feature would be kind of hard to use on Windows, and you have to rely on Olama just as you do for OpenClaw and every other service. But I have tried installing Olama and this, and I'll still tell you that it's faster using Olama with this than using it with OpenClaw. Email integration. A lot of providers expect the person who's coding the stuff to add OAuth so that you verify with them and then you get access to the email. But if you have IMAP, POP, and SMTP, they don't give you codes directly anymore. You have to fight for it with the workspace admin and all of these things. And in most cases, you have to pay. I tried Fastmail because it was the easiest route to do this. But then again, Fastmail was a paid service. And you can do it for free. You just have to add OAuth to work with that email client, right? So he has to do that as well. And then the next thing is web search. Web search isn't really working. It is working, but it works based on hit rate. Why does it work based on hit rate? I don't know. Well, DuckDuckGo, when it searches the web, it goes for 2 rounds in deep research and then it gives me an error. So that was what I was encountering all of the time. And a lot of people on the internet said Brave Search API works beautifully well. But when I went there, I saw the $5 sign and I don't really know if I can afford that. But maybe that's a me problem. But DuckDuckGo, you can still make it work if you make the integration tighter. And yeah, that's what I saw here. Next one is deep research. Why didn't I talk about it in the good part? Well, because you need the Brave Search API for it. Because DuckDuckGo and CRXNG give me errors when I try to use deep research. And when I'm trying to use deep research, I just want to find the deepest information about something, man. I saw the demos on the internet, it was really good, but I couldn't personally use it because of the Brave Search API. I log in and they ask me money without even a free trial. So I don't know. Then the next thing is the notes one. Some beginner models can't drag through it. I don't know why. Some experienced models can look into the notes. Why? I don't know. Maybe you're supposed to use it to just save notes, and the older models are guessing what's inside the notes. I don't know what's going on, but the AI models can't access the notes. So that's that. And then next, the council. I thought this was a really good idea because there was a council of water sheep in PewDiePie's videos, but it's not like that. And I used Odysseus and all of these names inside it, Niche, and then Socrates. It didn't work. It was exposing the prompt and the thinking in the same message, and then the other two were just internal error or something like that. Why? I don't know. So these were some bad elements that I encountered while doing this. And then the next thing I encountered is the email tab opens up even when you haven't finished your email integration. I don't know why that is. So that's a tiny thing that has to be looked for, and you have to redirect the users to do it. So, yep, there is more. The ugly. There is no forgot password option. This is a must, man, because you give me a password that's worth at least like 15 digits. How do you expect a user to remember that? I mean, copy pasting it is a good option. I did do that, but I don't know, for some reason it didn't work the second time, and I had to get in and I had to make my own custom Python code to, reset my password. That's a really huge benefit of it being open source. But yeah, forgot password option doesn't exist. And then the second one is deep research. Deep research should not have a hit rate. I don't know why it does. I have my Gemma 4 E2B model and I have my web search APIs ready, right? The DuckDuckGo and but it doesn't work. I don't know why it doesn't work. And then next is just some internal errors in the message. That just randomly happens. Maybe the model isn't ready. Maybe the model needs to be given some loading time, but I don't know. When it recognizes the model too, I keep getting this error. So please do look into it, PewDiePie, if you're watching this. And these kind of definitely need fixing. Council chat also definitely needs fixing. So once these are done with, this is a really good project in my opinion, because it makes self-hosting so damn simple for the everyday person. And I can see that the effort have all gone into the right areas, but with a huge but, I'm going to tell you this. It has this one major problem, as with every other vibe coded. That is, every feature works independently, but when you want them to work together, it doesn't really work together. Because when I have the chat option pressed, I have the search and the shell access option pressed. And when I click the agent mode, these two are supposed to turn on. Instead, they turn off, meaning you use the trigger based switch. So in that place, you are not supposed to use a trigger based switch. Yet he has, because the AI model thought it would be easier. And in these situations like this, you see the glaring issues behind vibe coding and the reasons as to why you should learn actual coding before you do this stuff. But props to Pewdiepie for making this. This is a really good project idea, and the open source community has already been coming together to put in a massive number of commits. Just this morning, I saw it cross 1,000, I believe, and it's only been 3 or 2 days since. So, yeah, that's amazing. So let's see how better it becomes in the future. And when it does become a lot better, I will review it again as well. Overall, in summary, if you're somebody who wants to localhost stuff very easily, self-host, and then have the OpenClaw features as well, look at this. It's a really good option, but it needs a lot of polish, in my opinion. And if you're a pro user, I would suggest still sticking with OpenClaw and adding harnesses and stuff. But Odysseus chat is for you if you're that kind of guy who prefers to have a chat GPT UI that has everything ready made for you right on your screen. But it needs polish, is what I'm trying to say. And when it is polished, I might review it again. So till then, all the best to Pewdiepie and the open source team that's making this better. I have my own projects to work on, otherwise I might contribute a little bit. Who knows in the future? So that's that. And thank you for watching this video, guys. If you want to see more like this one, subscribe, hit all of the buttons to support us, and the comment section as well to show your opinion. I don't know. So that's it, guys. Bye. And yep, that was a bro fist.